Hello there, and welcome everyone. Today we're fishing an upland stream in the Coosa River drainage because we're targeting redeye bass for the Georgia Bass Slam. The Georgia Bass Slam is a program the Georgia DNR has to recognize anglers with the knowledge and skill to catch different species of black bass in different habitats across the state. Another reason or purpose of the Georgia Bass Slam is to stimulate interest in the conservation and management of native black bass and their habitats. Georgia has 12 native species of black bass, but for the purpose of the Georgia Bass Slam, only 10 are eligible. And the DNR did that because some species are so similar that most anglers would not be able to identify them in the field. That's why largemouth bass and Florida bass are both considered largemouth bass for the Georgia Bass Slam. And they did the same thing with spotted bass and Alabama bass. Both species are considered spotted bass for the Georgia Bass Slam. Again, the DNR did this because these fish not only look kind of the same, they can also hybridize and backcross, so identification is pretty much impossible without genetic analysis. To achieve a slam, anglers have to catch at least 5 different species in a calendar year. 5 is the minimum number required for a slam, or you can try to catch all 10 species on the list. Redeye bass are only native to the Coosa River drainage above the fall line. And there are only 3 native species of black bass in the Coosa River drainage. The redeye bass, which is the upland species, the Alabama bass, and the largemouth bass. A few different attempts have been made over the years to illegally introduce non-native smallmouth bass to the Coosa River drainage, and they all failed. Today, you won't find catchable populations of smallmouth bass in any of those streams. And that's because the smallmouth hybridized with the native redeye and Alabama bass. In this video, you may notice I have only 1 rod in the kayak, which I think is a first. I usually like to have at least 2 rods. I like having some kind of search bait, and then I also usually have a Texas rig or some other soft plastic that can be fished on or near the bottom. It's also a good idea to have a spare in case something breaks. And that's pretty much what happened here. When I got to the launch, I put brand new line on my spinning reel, and when I got done, I went to hang the hook on the arm of the guide, and as soon as I turned the reel handle to take up the slack, the line just broke a few feet above the hook. So I knew I had a bad guide, and sure enough, it was the tip. The insert, which is titanium torzite, for anybody curious about that, was cracked, so I had to leave my spinning rod in the truck. And I'll tell you, I almost pulled the plug on this trip because if you haven't noticed, I catch a lot of fish on the old Texas rig. But other than a few strong afternoon thunderstorms, conditions were pretty much ideal for fishing. The water's low and clear, and there was a really good top water bite. So I hope you liked the video, and thanks for watching. Oh, buddy. Well, there's the target species, folks. The redeye bass. That one is probably 8 inches, but I'm going to release him. May regret that later, but I hope not. See you, buddy. Boy, look at all these stone rollers right here. Can you see them? That's probably the most I've seen in a while. The low water, I'm sure, has them all bunched up. There's hundreds of them. These are just the These are just the ones on this side of my kayak. They're like this on both sides of my kayak. Amazing. They were all 5 or 6 inches long. Some of them were probably bigger than that. That's a redeye. Another small one. He's hooked outside the head, that's why he's pulling. Got him in the gill, which is never good. You can see that brick red coloration and the soft dorsal anal and the caudal fin there. A lot different from the Bartrams we saw. Whoop, sorry buddy. Well, there goes a freshwater drum. I don't know if you can see them right there, swimming upstream. There goes another one. There's another small redeye bass. He's small, but that fish, believe it or not, may be mature. If it's a male, anyway, it probably is. Get that guy back in the water. See you, buddy. Y'all, this is a giant redeye. Wow. Not as big as I thought, but he's a good one. I am going to put this one on the board, folks. Well, folks, that's a really nice redeye bass. Anytime you get one that's over 10 inches, that's a really nice one. I got to get a picture of me holding the fish for the Georgia DNR for the Bass Slam. I'm going to hold the fish in the water for a while before I do that. See you, buddy. Really nice. Okay, got the redeye bass down. Only 8 more to go. The fish was holding right there. There's like a little bedrock outcrop right where that little cut is. Wow, there's another one right there. You can see that break in the water willow. There's a deep spot right there, and all the foam on the surface is being pushed into that little pocket. So the current is pushing everything, any kind of forage, right into that pocket. You can see the foam in that pocket is not moving, and there's a big bedrock outcrop or a boulder, a big rock on either side of that pocket, so it's deep in between there. That's why the water willow is not growing there. It's too deep, but those fish are holding right there. I'm really wishing I had some kind of soft plastic I could throw in there. Wow. I missed it twice. Got that one. Nowhere near as big as the last one, but still beautiful. You can see that brick red, almost tea colored, some people call it, but it's really more of a brick red coloration there on the soft dorsal, the anal, and on the caudal fin there. He's even got it on the pectoral fin there. Beautiful redeye bass. See you, buddy. I pulled it away from him. Boy, I just missed a good one. Oh, y'all. This might be a Bama bass here. He's giving me the big head shakes. Yeah, there's no way this is a redeye. Oh, he came off. No, he didn't. Oh, he's got me in the water willow. That's never good with a treble hook bait. There. We got him. It's not a giant, but it's a good one. Okay. We got you. We got you, buddy. That's a chunkster. The Alabama bass are, of course, native to the Coosa River drainage. One of their nicknames is Coosa River spotted bass, which I never use that term because they're no longer, they were actually classified as a separate species in 2008, so they're not spotted bass. So he's right at 18 with the old mouth shut. Whoa, he was ready. Now in the summer, it's not unusual for these big, larger individuals to be at the head of a pool like this, especially when you've got a nice run with all this surface turbulence, all this current. It really allows them to remain concealed, you know, even though that's relatively shallow up there. That surface turbulence and all that current allows those fish to ambush prey, even you know, during the middle of the day when the sun's high in the sky. You wouldn't necessarily expect a large fish, or maybe any fish, to be that shallow, but of course creeks and rivers are completely different with all that turbulence and current up there. Also, any prey that's weak or injured or floating on the surface, they're going to have the first shot at it. So typically in a creek or river, the larger fish occupy the most favorable feeding position. Another decent red eye. I'm pretty sure that one's 8 inches, but we've already got a redeye bass. Beautiful. Boy, there's no telling how many I could catch if I had a worm or some kind of soft plastic to throw in there. The guide on the tip of I brought a spinning rod to throw a Texas rig or a wacky rig, but the guide on the end of the rod, the insert broke, and I spooled new line on the rod, brand new line, and I grabbed the hook, and I was going to hook it on the arm of the guide like I always do once I spool new line. And as soon as I applied just a little bit of pressure, the line broke. So I knew I had a cracked guide or a busted guide somewhere, because that's the only way that can happen with new line. And sure enough, I checked all the guides and it was the very tip. And I've never had that issue before, but I guess I just knocked it just right, you know. And broke it. That's the absolute worst place to crack a guide, is the tip, in case anyone's wondering. All right, we're gonna change locations. Boy, that one almost didn't make it just sucked it in. It's too big to be a red eye. It's not as big as the last Bama bass, but it's a decent Bama bass. Wow, that was a nice jump. Again, Alabama bass are native to the Mobile Basin. The Coosa River is part of the Mobile Basin, so we're going to release this guy. The little one. Pretty little red-eye bass. Oh, see you, buddy. Wow. He was waiting on that. Definitely not a red-eye. Wish I had some 2X hooks right about now. Okay, we got you. Got the front treble, which is exactly what you want. That's a chunky one. Very nice Alabama bass. He's probably close to 18. Very awesome bite. Whoa, see you, buddy. I guess everybody saw where that fish was holding. I mean, I can almost see the bottom right there. And that fish was just sitting probably in the shade of that water willow, just waiting for stone rollers to come through there. I can still see a few stone rollers popping the surface of, popping the surface of the water every now and then. They might be chubs, but river chubs. I'm sure there's some shiners that come through there. Lots of small fish, which, the Alabama bass primarily, they're piscivorous or fish eaters mainly. So that's what that fish was doing there. And man, he blasted this thing. I hope I got that, hope the camera got that. That was an awesome bite. Again, that's the tail end of this pool right here, where that faster water is. That's where we've been seeing the stone rollers. Look at that, as soon as it hit the water. That's the target species though. Now that we got the Bama bass out of there, you guys can get to the bait. Beautiful, beautiful little redeye bass. Oh, see you, buddy. Wow, wish I had a fly rod right about now. That's a little one. A little gun shy now. Wow. I don't know if the camera got that. That was a nice redeye bass right here on the edge of this water willow. Need to bring my flipping rod next time. Catch him flipping right here. Got a pretty major thunderstorm up ahead. I don't know if you can see that. The sky's basically really dark, and there's a pretty bad storm system right there, little storm cell, little afternoon thunderstorms. Boy, if that's a red eye, it's going to be a good one. If he stays hooked. Oh, it's a red eye. Oh, he came. That was a shame right there.